Hey there, hi. It's Teresa McGallicher from the Miracles Tribe. I felt inspired to come on live today to talk about something that someone asked me about, and I thought it was a very, very good question. And the question was, what is the difference between service and sacrifice? I think for a lot of people, service and sacrifice seem like the exact same thing. That when you are of service to others, you are sacrificing yourself, and that is absolutely not correct. They're two different things, two completely and entirely different things. Sacrifice is never good. Service is always good. Service is about thinking of others and being responsive, being responsible, being able to respond to the needs of others, and caring about others with the understanding that they're no different from you. We're all connected. They're you, you're them. There's only one of us here. And so when you are caring for others, you are caring for yourself. And when you are caring for yourself, you are caring for others, because there's no separation. In spirit, there's no separation. There's only one of us here, and we're all connected. However, if that act of service that you are giving to another involves a feeling or a sense of sacrifice, the idea that you are somehow losing something, then you shouldn't be doing it. There's actually no loss. There's no loss. There's never any loss. That's an ego concept. So, for example, you may love someone and you may lose them because you break up with them, or they pass away, or for whatever reason they become removed from your life, and you may think that you've lost the love of your life. But that's actually not true, because love is never lost. Love is a feeling. You can have love whether there's a person to love or not. You can love others instead of that person. So that person is just like a focal point for your love. The person may have left your life, but the love is never lost. It's always in your heart. It always was there, still is there, always will be there. So when we're focused on things in the material world of form, we're likely to get confused about what's going on here, and we're likely to feel like there can be gain and there can be loss. When your perspective is elevated to a spiritual one, and instead of being focused on things in the world of form, but instead focused on the feeling, focused on the essence, focused on the truth of what is really going on here, there it is very clear that there's no gain and there's no loss. There just is what there is. So if you were in love once before, you can be in love once again. You can be in love right now. You can be in love with a piece of art. You can be in love with a piece of music. You can be in love with a flower. The love is still always there. It never gets lost. Maybe that person that you loved no longer seems to be here in this world of form, but the love is still there. So there's no loss. When we get focused on the world of form, we get confused. So anyway, getting back to what I started off talking about with service and sacrifice, my spiritual practice, A Course in Miracles, says that sacrifice is never necessary, never required. God doesn't want you to make sacrifices. Think about this. Would you want someone that you love, would you want your child to have to give things up and make sacrifices? Why? Why would you want that? It doesn't even make any sense. You want the best for the people that you love. You want them to have everything. You want them to have lives full of joy and happiness, not giving things up, feeling loss and sacrifice. So why would God want that for you? God is your Father who loves you, the same that you love your children, and wants the same things for you that you want for those that you love, which is happiness, joy, peace, abundance, prosperity, blessings, all the good things in life. So sacrifice is never asked for, never required, and actually it's never a good thing, because when you go back in your own life and look at the sacrifices that you have made, do you feel really good about that? I know for myself, when I look at times when I felt like I had to give up something that I really wanted to benefit somebody else, I had a sense of resentment about that. That notion of sacrifice led to a negative feeling for me, not a positive feeling. Now, the ego can say, oh, I made this sacrifice and I feel really good about it. And that's a kind of a false pride. But when you think about how your heart feels, if there isn't a sense of ease and grace and peace, then it's not real. It's not real. So A Course in Miracles says that only loving thoughts are true. And any kind of thoughts are feelings that are negative, that are resentful, that are hateful, that are unkind. Those are not valuable. They have no value. So when we look at service versus sacrifice, what we want to look at is, how do I feel about what it is I'm doing for someone else? They've asked me to do something, or I've noticed that they need something. And how does it feel for me to do that for them? If I can do it from a place of, it's my pleasure to serve you, it makes me feel good to do nice things for you, and I don't feel like I'm losing anything, I'm not losing time, I'm not losing money, I'm not stressing out and losing my sense of peace. If I can do something for you and I feel joyful all the while, that is service, and that is what we want to aim for. But we have to have the place of peace and happiness within ourselves first before we can extend it out to anyone else. You can't give what you don't have. So it always starts with us. It always starts with us finding our peace, finding our joy, finding our happiness, feeling loving towards ourselves before we can feel loving and give anything to anybody else. If the feeling is one of, I'm doing something because I think it's the right thing to do, because it's going to make me look good, because that person is helpless and needy and I must make some effort to bail them out, even though it's uncomfortable for me, even though I feel like it's not fun, it's not interesting, it's not exciting, that is sacrifice, and that doesn't benefit anyone. In the world of form, it may seem like there's a benefit. It may seem like, you're the better person who's helping somebody else out. But people don't need that kind of help. They need help that comes from a place of joy. They want you to see them as equals. They don't want to be seen as, I'm this poor, pitiful person that needs help, and you're a better person who can help and pull me up. Everyone wants to be seen as valuable, as valued, as perfect and whole in who they are, not as, this whole hierarchical thing with levels. That's another ego concept that we've bought into that's not real, and doesn't have any value. No one is better than anyone else at the level of spirit. We're all come into this world perfect, whole, innocent. And it's only the belief that I've sinned, that I got it wrong, that I failed, that I made mistakes, that I screwed up, that I'm not good enough, that drives us down. None of that ever really happens. It's all a belief system, and it's all in the past. And the past isn't a real place that you can go to. It's just a belief system in your mind. So when you're staying fully present, and when you're presented with a situation where you have to decide, can I really be of service here? Can I do this to bless and not to impress? Can I share what I have? Am I feeling so happy and joyful that it just comes spilling out of me and I want to share it with those around me? That's where you want to be of service, to truly be of service. Anytime there's any qualms about, I want to do something for someone else or help somebody else out because I think I'm better than them, or I think I have it better than them, or I think that it's noble to give up something I have for somebody else, that's a weird, funky energy, and that's not a place that you want to be, because it may feel okay in the moment, but it will come back to bite you in the ass later on. It's gonna snap back. And there will be some sense of resentment, some sense of loss, some sense of you're going into the egoic energy, then you're going into the ego world, and we want to stay aligned with spirit. We want to stay aligned with the divine. So find your peace, find your joy, do what makes you happy, do what helps you to be relaxed, and then move from that place, from that energy, out into the world. And if you don't feel like there's enough of that to share, then just stay within your own bubble. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. No judge is sitting up there in the sky watching everything that you do and judging you. That's just a myth. That's not happening. No one's going to come strike you down because you did something wrong or made a bad choice. The way that this works karmically is with what happens in your mind. You make a decision, and then you see how you feel about it. And if you make the wrong decision, you will end up with feelings. It will come back to you in feelings that aren't great. Feelings of unhappiness in some form or another. So our goal is to stay in peace and to stay happy. And if we can do that and interact with the people around us, more power to you. The world needs more of that. But if you can't spread that joy and happiness from a genuine place of, I have a lot of this and I just want to give it out, then don't go there. Just stay in your zone, stay in your lane. You be you, you let other people be them, and everything will take care of itself. The world is going to work out. You're not in charge. You don't need to be responsible. You don't need to worry about everybody else. You don't need to take care of everybody else's business. That's a heavy load to carry. And it's a heavy energy. And it creates a lot of stress and strain that we don't need. We need to be relaxed. We want to be floating through life so that we can be flexible. Okay, I hope I made that clear. I feel like I went off on a couple of tangents, but really nice to see you here. And thanks for joining me. I'm Teresa McGallicher from the Miracles Tribe. If you have any questions, let me know. If I wasn't clear about the difference between service and sacrifice. Service comes from a place of joy and extending love. Sacrifice comes from an idea of loss. See how you feel before you act. See you next time. Bye-bye.